Hi, how you doing? I hope you're well. Received an interesting email, so I thought I'd share it with you because I think it's quite a common issue. Dear Will, finding your blog was a bit of a relief. It's hard to find info and support for emotional abuse. If your partner hits you, there seems to be a wealth of places to turn to, but not with emotional abuse. I'm a mature student, have formerly been employed, a mother of three, only realised through my study about 6 weeks ago that I've been a victim of emotional abuse all my life. I had an idea that things weren't right, but typically I kept thinking it was me, that I needed to try harder, all the usual stuff. I confronted my husband with the concept, and he says that he can see how his behaviour can be abusive and wants to change, although he has continued to be abusive. I don't think he can really see it for himself fully. Now I've identified the problem, I'm not sure what to do. Do couples ever get past emotional abuse, or is it so deep-rooted that the only way forward is to move on and go separate ways? I'm not sure I can ever trust him again fully, even if he's abused me subconsciously. There isn't enough information out there about emotional abuse. My husband doesn't shout or swear at me, it's more what is said, not how, and a lot of abuse information is misleading in this regard. I'll be following your blog with interest, and I do hope you succeed in heightening awareness. That's great. Many thanks for the email. Thanks for sharing it as well, because I think it's raised some great points. You know, you can be kind of a victim all your life and not realise it. It's just everything normal to us is normal because of our environment when we were growing up. Those are our boundaries of normality. Often when you get married, you come together, you've got this clash of normalities, and it's like, oh, you want to do that with your child, but I want to do, So often you can get challenges there, but when your relationship is out of balance, that's when you can start realising that there's something more afoot there in terms of abuse. So that's a very common one. So I'm just looking at it again. A very common one in somebody just thinking that it's just them and they just need to do more or harder or different in order to satisfy their partner or keep an equilibrium. Sorry, but no, there's something more to that, and this lady has found out, and I'm very glad through this forum has found out. In terms of the very interesting question is, can couples get over it? Interestingly, I'm connected with some work going on with the NHS, the National Health Service here in the UK, and there's a lot of work going on to raise awareness of borderline personality disorders, which is the first defined area of abuse. Everything is sort of a bit grey before that, but beyond that then you get mental illnesses, sort of defined mental illnesses. So borderline personality disorder is right on the edge of the abuse spectrum and is recognised by the NHS. There's a lot more awareness for helping health professionals diagnose this and everything leading up to it to help abusers, basically, or people suffering with personality disorders, to help them recover and get support and get help. In terms of victims, there's still not much that I know of that I've come across yet in terms of support and awareness raising. The very few resources that I've found of people where the couples come together and work through personality disorders together in couples, I think it can be done. But the toughest nut to crack is the abuser. They have to, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That old adage is very true, I think, with abuse. The thing that the abuser will protect at all costs is the most vulnerable part of them, and that is their emotional child, I guess, their emotional self, which is very immature and childlike because it wasn't supported and developed when they were growing up. So they'll protect that by attacking, usually, by attacking, manipulating, blaming. Fantastic for blame. So that reflective part it's probably the last thing to come. So some people might acknowledge it. Some abusers might be able to break through and certainly take advantage of the help that is on offer. Yet I fear most people, and certainly the cases I've heard and literature I've read, case studies suggest that very, very few abusers are able to be self-reflective and open enough and vulnerable enough to actually accept what's happened to them, to make them the abuser, and to be able to adjust and change from that and be more balanced. So that might offer some hope to this lady and others around there. But not much, perhaps. Certainly, it seems that the large portion of cases is that separation and going separate ways is the only way, certainly the best way, and especially when you've got an abusive personality that's digging their heels in, very adamant that it's the other person's fault, and is blaming and manipulating and being thoroughly horrid. So thank you very much for the email. Sorry, I rambled on a bit much, but it's a very interesting subject. So thank you very much for sharing that. And yeah, do keep your emails coming. Why not, as some people say, rate the videos. I think that will help the searching and help raise the awareness on this blessed internet. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye.